Hello and welcome to the first ever podcast, sponsored in full this week by Fizzlecrack, semi-survival multiplayer server. So let's get started. Once I've hooked up this truck, we are in Euro Truck Simulator. If you are a bit confused about what the hell is this, then please see the podcast prologue, sort of a little video updatey thing that I did. So if you check that out, that will really much explain everything to you. Oh god, there's another truck coming into that. Right, back to centre. We'll take the map down. We're heading to Manchester from Newcastle. In the previous podcast, or the podcast prologue, went from London to Newcastle. Now go Newcastle to Manchester. Start off in the UK because that's where I'm from. Let's start with our first story. If you don't know the way this is going to work, is we're going to have stories, which will be obviously different every week, and I'll just sort of what's important to me. And then we sort of have like a weekly thing. We have, of course, the sponsor section. We have the review where I review something, the crappy advert of the week, the turd bucket of the week, which is like someone who's an arsehole, and the awesome guy or gal of the week. Those will be sporadically spread out around the thing. So let's go on to the first story, which is, of course, as everyone seems to be covering it, because it's a happy day for the world. Fred Phelps has died. Which direction am I going here? To the right. Alright, let's get going towards Manchester. So Fred Phelps has died. If you didn't know, he was like the pastor and which basically means not the thing in Italy, but the sort of the main religious guy at the Westboro Baptist Church. And if you don't know who they are the people who like picketed American soldiers' funerals and all sorts of things, because apparently God hates America and God hates gay people and fags and blah 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 blah, which is quite just awful, like protesting someone who died. And I'm not going to go into that. There's many videos on it, and there's a documentary. In fact, if you have Netflix, netflix.com/MiNameIsJake. No, that's not a thing. Don't do it. I might get in trouble. Which direction am I going here? Yes, that'll do. Onto the M1. Yeah, but if you go on Netflix, there are a few documentaries by Louis Theroux. Theroux, something around there. Put Louis in the top, I'm sure it'll come up with. That's for the UK one. Not sure if it's on the American version. It might be, because there are documentaries inside America. Can you cars stop coming so I can pull out, I think? So yeah, basically massive douchebag, and he's died. But my sort of thoughts on religion, homosexuality, drugs is whatever you want to do in your spare time is none of anyone's business as long as it doesn't affect anybody. So what I mean by that is like, good example of this is Jehovah's Witnesses, which do my bloody head in. It's ridiculous. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't care that it's none of my business that you don't have blood transfusions or any of that. But don't come to my house, my own personal property, and try and tell me to be like you. Like, I'd be how I want, thank you very much. If I wanted to not have blood transfusions and not have children, I think's one of them. No. Like, is there anything about children in there? I think there's something about children, but I can't remember. I never listened to them. I usually just tell them to fuck off. And like people say, oh, you shouldn't be mean to them. They're only just sort of like going around. But to me, like door-to-door salesmen or people who ring you up and salesmen, I will tell you to fuck off because I don't want to talk to you and you're bugging me. It's the way the world works. I am so sorry if I hurt your feelings. Goodbye. Bit of an awkward one. One of the ones that came to see me one day worked with my dad. That was a bit of a whoops moment, but he said he didn't mind, so we'll gloss over that. On to the next story. Whoa, transit. Explaining things to my grandfather on YouTube over at youtube.com/youngandoldfilms is awesome. It is like, so it's a guy that looks maybe 20 something, like in his early 20s, just sort of above a teenager. Sorry, guy. And he talks to his grandma and his grandfather about like cock blocking. He tries to get his granddad to get his ex back and stuff. Absolutely hilarious stuff. You have to go check it out and subscribe. That is over at youtube.com/youngandoldfilms. And you know what? Those three can be some of our awesome guys and gals of the week. I do have another one picked out, or another many picked out, but we'll go on to that in a minute. Our next story is Wade William Johnson retires from Equals Free. If you didn't know what Equals Free was, it was sort of a bit like the UK people. I think, whoa, crap. I think they also had it in the US, I'm not sure, but like You've Been Framed, but for YouTube, so like he'd find funny videos on YouTube and put them out there. I used to be a real big fan of Equals Free. We'll go to Manchester. Come on, car. We are going to Manchester. But I started getting really fed up with the show because it changed from a man doing really awesome stuff in his bedroom, and he was awesome, for a guy in his bedroom, just sort of recording his face. It was awesome. But then he got to the stage where it was being produced by a TV show, and while it was an awesome, just single guy in his bedroom, it was a crap TV show, and it was just sort of crap in my mind. I don't know what it was, which is why I'm still subscribed, which is how I saw the last video and whatever. But it started going downhill when it started getting too professional for me. I preferred it sort of more old school, just some random guy in his bedroom. Where am I going here? Right, okay. So we're going to go on. So let's talk about our sponsor, the Thistlecrack survival server. It's one I played a lot. You've seen some videos under the name Thistlecraft because they recently changed their name, and I've decided to keep the name because I couldn't be asked to change everything. But if you would like to join, because we are still looking for whitelist applications, you can go over to thistlecrack.engine.com. Engine is not engine is in a car, but engine is in ENJIN.com. They are the sponsor of this video, and I thank them very much. So if you'd like any more information or to apply for the whitelist, that is where you can go. There will be a link in the description, as well as any links that sort of make sense to the stories we're talking about today. So yes, that's the sponsorship section out of the way. We'll go down to two sort of things here. I posted a comment on an iJustine video which went like a nuclear bomb on the internet, which is, to be fair, it's not hard. And I just want to talk about constructive criticism versus hating. If you really want to see this comment, I might link it to my Google Plus because it pops up in there. But yeah, it's sort of fangirls, and I must admit, what didn't help is I said, but hey ho, as in but oh well. It's sort of an English thing. And Americans thought I was calling her a hoe, which didn't help. I've gone the wrong way here, which didn't exactly help my case. But yeah, I didn't call her a hoe. If you see that and you're from America, it's sort of an old British phrase. But basically what it was about, and I'll read you my first one, so you get the idea of how it was meant to be read exactly. Let me just make sure I don't slide into anything. It's common. This is about on a video on the Crafting Dead mod that she did in Minecraft. Oh, I can turn the lights off now. What I said was, it's common courtesy that when using a mod or playing on a public server, that you put a link in the description. But hey ho, now this is obviously a bit of a hating sentence. You're obviously way too popular for the common people that take the time to make these mods for the community. Also, your face cam, which is pointless for a series like this, covers up all the GUI for the mod. So there was some extra stuff that the mod added into, like, on the side, like little like how full of water you were and all this jazz. Can I park this? Ooh, I can. Let's look. Look at this. Let's go to London. Let's grab the most expensive thing we can. Cheese! And we'll take the job. Now let's park up and we'll continue with this story. Alright, so as I was saying, so the GUI for the mod was covered up. And also, you don't really need a face cam for just a Minecraft video, for God's sake. I can also have for Slender and, you know, Outlast and all those sort of scary ones and stuff that are meant to surprise you, like Can Your Bird and things like, and the Fly. That might have been good with a face cam, but not for just a Minecraft video. Or at least a Minecraft video where you're just wandering around with two mates doing things of not so much importance, like a Hunger Games video, maybe, because that's sort of a you know, competitive thing. You're going to get frustrated or you're going to get really happy when you kill people. But yeah, there's basically sort of a bit of a war in the comments because a lot of people thought I was calling her a hoe because of the hey ho thing. But it's sort of like. Also, what was funny is someone said that Joe, and this other girl she was with, I don't know who she is, that were playing it, they also didn't have a link in the descriptions, and they were like, "What have you just picked on Justine?" And I was like, "Well, one, this is the video I watched. I don't happen to be subscribed to any of the others, and Joey, I wasn't expecting him to have any common sense to put it in the description because he doesn't have enough common sense not to park in someone's driveway." And I had a bit of a rant about that, and then at the end I put, "Now that's me hating somebody," and I really do seriously hate that man with a passion. He is an arse, and I hate him, and he can be a turd bucket of the week, because he can also be one. I have two more, which I'll mention in a minute. So basically, people do need to sort of watch out and understand what's the difference between constructive criticism and hating. You really do need to. People need to sort of hold back the sort of "I hate it" and sort of just read it a few times, maybe. iOS 8. You are getting tired. Ooh, okay. I'll go to this petrol station. iOS 8 is starting to see some rumours out. Oh crap. Oh no. Oh, never mind. I was on the wrong side of the road. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm in Europe. Never mind. So yeah, I mean the main updates that we've been seeing is the health book app, which I don't understand why everyone's sort of going, "Let's be healthy" in the middle of like a... No idea. But yeah, iOS rumours, that's basically the only one. I'm not interested in it. There has also been some mock-ups of what apparently macOS 10.10 is going to look like. And it's all see-through, like iOS 7. They made it a lot more... Oh yeah, I need to rest. They made it look a lot like iOS 7, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of at all. I can see some people really not liking that. And I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't exactly like him, although I'd probably still upgrade. First day, you complete the first day as a truck driver, yeah. So yeah, that's sort of my thing on that. Another thing which I thought I'd talk about is my brief history of mobile phones or cell phones if you're if you're in the US, because I do like talking about phones and different things. So if I cover it now, I can refer people back to the first one where I do talk about what phones I had. So my first phone was a Nokia flip up. It had Bluetooth and enough memory for 2 songs, which is how I actually got a lot of my music for my iPod, an iPod 2nd gen. Someone had it at school, I'd Bluetooth, they'd Bluetooth it to me, I'd take it off, and then I'd then Bluetooth it to my computer, and then put it on my iPod, and that's how I got a lot of my songs. I'm sorry! What's your fucking problem? I lost that under my grandma's settee, and I never found it for like a year and a half. So I got a even crappy Nokia, didn't have Bluetooth, it had a torch, which was the main feature. That's how terrible it was. Still works actually. I mean, I've thrown it at walls and it still works. And then the next phone I got was a LG Cookie KP500. Sort of that one, and then there was the 501, which had different buttons, and then there was the Samsung Taco, which is still a vastly superior phone. It kept breaking, it was crap, and on the third time it broke, with a load of pictures from America on it, of me on an old fire engine, which was really annoying. And also the connector wouldn't work, so when I powered it on, the connector wouldn't let me get the stuff off of it, because I was just going to throw it in the bin, which is why it's still there, because if I can ever be bothered, I want to plug it in and try and get this thing to work, even if I actually go inside the phone and solder the wires on myself. I probably won't do the soldering because I'm terrible at soldering, but you know what I mean. So every time that broke, I had to go back to the old one, and then my mum got a phone, because my mum had like a Nokia flip-up that broke, so my dad and me, I think it was sort of a joint thing, we bought her a 360 by LG, I can't remember exactly what the letters were, but it was sort of, you flipped it up sideways and then you could type on it. It was like a full keyboard, because my mum hadn't got a laptop at this point, and she didn't really like it for texting. She was used to the Nokia, you know, sort of having to press the button 4 times to get the letters and stuff. So I ended up getting that, and that lasted a while until it just broke. It wouldn't call people. It wouldn't call people when I wanted it to, but then would call people. Have I gone the wrong way here? Let me just make sure. No, we're alright. But yeah, it would call people when I didn't want it to, and then it wouldn't call, and then it wouldn't call people when I didn't want it to, and it was just, and then the speaker started I think it was loose inside, and then from there I bought a new phone, the orange Monte Carlo, because my dad had just got his first Android phone in San Francisco from there, so I got the largest one, and actually the screen size was quite nice. I can't remember what screen size it was bigger than the iPhone. I think it maybe went to like a 4.5, maybe a 5, but like it ran on crappy hardware, it was slow, the screen wasn't that nice. It looked nice, but the actual touching wasn't very good. You know, the sort of, to keep it at a certain price point, they made the screen really nice and then skimped out on everything else, and it didn't work. And then sadly, after a while, it cracked the screen. So I took it back to the Orange shop, because they're the only people that sell them, because it's an Orange branded phone from ZTE. And they said, oh, we don't have parts for this, even though they were still selling the thing on the shelves. I could have bought a new one right there. And they said, we don't have spares for this. We can't repair it. You should go and talk to the Indian bloke on the market. And I was like, what do you want? Like, you sell a phone that you do not repair, and then you want me to go and just hand it to some bloke on the market to see if he might be able to conjure a screen out of thin air. What a crazy idea! So that's ended up on the shelf, broken. Didn't even get fixed once. And then I bought myself for £200, and this was in the day when the iPhone 4S was out, the Sony Ericsson Xperia Ray for 190 quid, I think it was. and it had iPhone 4 specs in it during the iPhone 4S days, so it wasn't that far behind. It was, but quite far behind for Android. You know, it was a single core 1 gig with like half a gig of RAM, maybe like maybe like 3/4 of a gig of RAM. It was kind of weird. Actually, I think it had a whole gig. Because it was the only Android phone I've ever seen which never lagged down. It had a very small screen. It had even smaller than an iPhone, and it was very 16 by 9. It was a horrible thing to type on, but for playing games it was alright. The speaker was alright, and I dropped this thing on the phone so many times, and the battery would always fly out. The only thing that would ever actually break on it was the like little Sony Ericsson logo on the back, which is like a hard plastic inside like the floppy sort of back plate. That cracked in half. But other than that, it was fine. And then after that, I got my iPhone 5, which has been the best phone I've ever had. And yeah, so I don't really enjoy my iPhone 5, although, like, what I've always said when people say, why do you like iOS so much, is, why do you like iPhone so much, should I say? And I'm always like, I like iOS. That's the main thing why I have an iPhone. I really like iOS. It works with all my computers. It works with iTunes, which is where I get all my music from. I hate Spotify. I'd rather own something than rent it. It's like different with Netflix, because of course movies are expensive, but songs at 99p a go I can afford. There we go. Shall we go on a new one? Yes, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about still. This might get uploaded in 2 parts because my internet's not fantastic. Let's go back to Manchester with some yogurt for Euro goodies. Oh, I need to actually pick the thing up. Yeah, I like iOS, that's why I like iPhones, but I have to agree that like Android phones are generally better. I don't like Samsung phones. It's kind of annoying. Like if I was gonna have an Android phone, I would have the new Z2 that just came out. Like S5 is ugly as hell, and I don't like TouchWiz, and I can't be asked to put different settings on and stuff. And HTC, I really like that. I like the speakers. I like it being out of aluminium. That's another thing I really like about the iPhone, the design of it. But the camera's crap on it. I don't understand why they have such a crap camera. Like, the best phone for me would be like a Nexus 5. Like, I don't want a big thing like a Note 3. It's just a pain in the arse for me. But I've already got a thing. Oh, there's no truck coming. Come on, guy. Oh! What was I going on about? Oh yeah, so the best phone for me would be a sort of a hybrid of an iPhone, but with a 64-bit version of what's in the Note 3, which I think is an octa-core. I think you can get an octa-core for the Note 3, like a 64-bit octa-core, and the size of like a Note 3 or a Nexus, but with the design of the iPhone 5, because I really like that design, and I really like loads of mock-ups of the like iPhone 6 have looked like they're like a blown up iPod Touch. I mean, they were like that from the iPhone 5, but like a really big iPod Touch. I don't like the design of the iPod Touch. One thing which I really hope Apple don't do is do what they did with the iPod Touch, and what a few other companies have done, where like the camera sticks out from the case. That just looks like bad design to me. Like, obviously it was on purpose, they haven't just messed over it, but like, if you can't get the camera to fit inside the case, then you cannot either make the case that small, or put the camera, or have such a good a camera. Like, that's sort of the way it works for me. If they can slim a camera down and fit it in a 1mm sized phone, then sure, have fun. I'm going right because my camera's to the left. So what I think should be on the next iPad? 64-bit chip and a fingerprint sensor, mainly. Also a better front-facing camera on it, like they should put the back-facing camera off the iPhone on the front-facing camera of the iPad. Like, even if it's like an iPhone 4S camera, not quite the best one. What should be on the next iPhone? It bigger, the same thickness, basically the same design, the same thickness. Because what I want is I want them to have the same amount of battery life or more. Don't just because you've got more space to put stuff inside the phone, so you think, oh, slim it down. No, keep it the same size and fill it with batteries. Like, I don't care if it's slightly heavier. As long as you've got more battery life and you can justify them, yes, I will have it. What do I want to see in the next Macs? Oh god. Retina MacBook Pro, just update it, basically. Yeah, just update it. The MacBook Air, what I'd really like to see that is it adopt a MacBook Pro Retina display design, but incredibly slim, like as slim as an iPad. That'll be amazing, because that could be like that iPad Pro. Like, imagine, like, people can carry around the big iPad easily. But imagine if the 11-inch MacBook Air was the same size, obviously a bit, same thickness, but it's a bit more 16 by 9 than the iPad. Like, that would be awesome, and I would buy one of those immediately. Like, it'd have to be priced competitively with Samsung's Pro tablets. Like, you couldn't have it at a Mac price, you'd have to have it as a tablet price. But still, I mean, I can't remember what the Pro from Samsung is, but it's still quite expensive, so I don't think I'll have much problem there. So yeah, I mean, the Mac Mini, I would really like to see that. Now they've been able to fit so much into the Mac Pro. Some people said they're going to have a Mac Pro style design. No. The Mac Pro design is nice, but it takes up quite a lot of room on the desk compared to a Mac Mini. Like, you could fit. People have put cinema displays on top of a Mac Mini. I'm not sure if it's meant to do that or not. But what I want to see is I want them to try and fit more power into it. Like, people edit on Mac Minis because they only use the CPU. I mean, I know some editing programs use graphics, but gloss over that. But if you could put graphics in there and make it so you could do some light gaming on it, especially now, like, you look at the 750 Ti cards from NVIDIA, if you could fit one of them inside or a slightly modified version, then people will be able to game on it, whether and put an SSD in there and make it a hybrid drive like what's in the iMacs. I think that's what they're going to have to do with the Mac Mini, otherwise people are not going to buy it. Also, while on the topic of Macs, a new critical update has been around for the Macs to fix the SSL problems there were. So it's nice to know that is you can't make it go away. You have to click on it and then it will disappear. Open the App Store, and then you have to close the App Store to get rid of it, which is kind of annoying because I don't want to turn it off yet because I've only got a hard drive and it takes too long compared to my MacBook or my dad's laptop. So let's do our review now. What we're going to be reviewing today is the Bass Buds Classics from Bass Buds. I bought them because of earpods just constantly breaking, and they're really good. Like, some people have sort of picked on them for having diamonds in the ears. They're not diamonds, they're Schwarzkopf element crystals. And there's actually a ticket which came with it to say that they are official ones as well, which I thought, well, are they worth something? Can I take them out the end of the headphone, put some chewing gum in to replace it and then sell them? But yeah, they're really good headphones, they're really good quality. You can hear like the bass actually going in their ears. They come with foam tips. I mean, they're £40, but they come with foam tips. They are the best sounding headphones I've ever. Like, Beats by Dr. Dre, out of the water. They really are good. Have I gone the right way? I hope so. If you're interested in picking them up, there will be a link in the description. Please tell them that I sent you. really, like, they are incredibly good. Like, there's not much of a review because I'm not like a really good music guy, but like the Beats by Dr. Dre that cost £200. These cost 40, which is expensive in your headphones. But if you need something on the bus or going to college or work, whatever, you need smaller, not big like Beats, get these without a doubt. I mean, there's 20 colours I think to choose from. I got black. Really wish I'd gone for the green ones. If you see them on the whoa guy, that was not my fault. That was my fault. Meet to you. So, yeah, that's the review of those. And also, I'll go on to the next sort of weekly thing. The creepy advert of the week goes to one from YouTube. Well, not from YouTube, but on YouTube. Oh, boy. I just stalled. Wow. What's going off here? What's going off here? Alright, continuing on. The crappy advert of the week is Casio by George Ezra. A music video they've been playing on adverts constantly. What's hilarious is about a girl who I believe must be called Cassie. It's like, Cassie, oh, don't leave me. That's sort of like the full thing. But the trouble is, I think he looks like a nerd. And Casio's a make of watch. Congratulations, stock complete. Ooh, what's this? Deliver 2 undamaged cargoes. Deliver any cargo to 4 different loading docks. Drive 60 kilometers with a loader. Earn 25,000. Gain access to 1 new country. Alright. Let's get a new mission. I will drive down to London. Well, oh, we're in Manchester. Well, let's go to Newcastle then, and then we'll drive back if we have enough time. Or if not, perfect for our next podcast. Mottos. Oh, I need to pick it up. Yeah, so he looks like a nerd, and he's saying, Casio, please don't leave me. It sounds like he's getting divorced by his watch. And it's a really stupid song. I hate it for a passion, and I wish YouTube would not do shit. It's annoying as fuck. So, yes, so that's the crappy advert of the week. Our last story now. Hey Arnold and the Rugrats movie are now on Netflix, and they are both incredibly awesome, and you should see them if you have Netflix. That's that for the stories. Sorry for that quick break. I just have to go and get a drink of water. Actually, there is one more story. Oh god, what's it called? I don't have this on my dock. This is something I literally thought of while I was getting a drink. McDonald's has got Monopoly going. I knew if I'd said McDonald's, it will come to me. I don't mean to say a burger flew through the window. If I say McDonald's, it will come to me. But like, I'm so stupid. Monopoly's coming to McDonald's, which basically means free stuff, possibly. I've already won a medium milkshake, which I haven't consumed yet. I shall review that in next week's podcast, probably. Alright, so before we go on to the questions that I've gathered for this episode, let's talk about the turd buckets of the week, other than what I've already mentioned. Fred Phelps, because I won't be able to say it again. Obviously, I've talked about why. And President Putin for taking over Crimea like a cock. Basically, he's just a cock. I wouldn't want to go to Russia anymore. That's my section on Russia. I'm not going to buy anything that's Russian. I'm not going to go to Russia. So you just bollocks yourself, Mr. Putin-i. So yeah, Putin's a cock. And apparently, there's still a war going on. And the awesome guys and girls of the week that is everyone who's doing those makeup nominations, whether it's not wearing makeup or if it's the guys that are wearing makeup. Really awesome thing that you're doing. I haven't been nominated, I don't want to be nominated, please don't nominate me. But it's still a great awesome thing you're doing for breast cancer awareness, that's for. And the awesome guys and gals of the week are also going to be the people, the relatives of people from MH3, sorry, the fucking name, 370, is it? MH370, I think. I apologise if it's wrong. Absolute terrible things happen to you. If it was a fire, they all asphyxiated, is it? Asphyxiated, you know, however high they were, because everything so far is pointing towards a fire. But I am deeply, deeply apologetic to you. Where am I going? I'm going to Newcastle. Right, that's okay. Like, this is a terrible way to go, and my support really is with all of the families. Now I have some questions. What is your favourite food? My favourite food is Hunter's chicken and chips. So, English chips, like homemade ones, not from the chip shop. And then it's like chicken with bacon and cheese right around it in a barbecue sauce. It's absolutely fantastic. Favourite drink is probably Vimto, although I don't have it a lot because it's the fizzy Vimto, by the way, not the fruit juice Vimto. But I very rarely have it because of how sugary it is. I usually just have Diet Coke, which is probably my second. But I also like chocolate Nesquik. I like, of course, a cup of teas, and I like bottled water. Even though we live like immediately next to a dam, so all the water's incredibly fresh, it's still not pleasant. What's the games you like the most or have spent the most time in? These are some that I've just listed. There probably are a few which, after I've recorded this, we go, oh yeah, that was good as well. Need for Speed Carbon, because it was the last game that I really enjoyed of the Need for Speed series. Like, I also enjoyed Undercover. They went back to sort of their more carbon and most wanted routes. And also, I actually quite like Need for Speed The Run because the driving physics were really nice. I like them. Like, in Hot Pursuit and stuff, you just have to drift everywhere. It don't matter if you're going 30 miles an hour and everyone else is doing 90, 100,000. You still have to drift around a corner. With The Run, the graphics were quite good for a PS3 game anyway. And also, the driving was good. Like, you could go around a corner in a supercar gripping all the way around. Or, like, on really tight corners, if you tried to do a Scandinavian flick, it would do it, and it would do it how I would think a Scandinavian flick should be. And it's fantastic. There's also Juiced, which is an old game. Juiced 2 was so crap. It was the first... I'm sorry. It was the first game I bought for my PS3. Burnout Paradise, I've spent so many hours in that, it's ridiculous. But friends, if you play Burnout Paradise now, HVC Guy is still at the top of many things. Terraria I played a lot of, mainly because of Toby Games and Minecraft as well, of course. I really enjoyed Far Cry 3, that was amazing. I'm so excited that there's now starting rooms for Far Cry 4. And, I mean, the graphics look fantastic on PS4 for that. And the only one that I actually have like the amount of hours I've ever played on it, I mean, like on the Fizzlecraft server, I've played 6 days worth. Wow, and I've spent what I consider a small amount of time on there. The one that I can actually confirm from Steam, which is, as I wrote this, I think I've actually played a few more hours of it now. I have 100 hours on Kerbal Space Program, and I haven't even landed on the moon. You are getting tired. Right, okay. What would you like to see in Minecraft? I would like to see a way of making leather from rotten flesh, because rotten flesh is now currently pointless. So, yeah, I'd like to see a way for leather to be, rotten flesh to turn into leather, as well as, what was the other thing that I wanted? I can't remember. Anyway, there's another thing that I can't remember. What's your favourite meal from a fast food restaurant? Subway is my favourite fast food restaurant, and it is, a steak and cheese foot long on Italian herbs and cheese bread with normal cheese, lettuce, onions, sweet corn, Ooh, casual gamer. You've played the game for an hour. You have visited London twice. You have visited Manchester twice. Alright. So yeah, steak and cheese foot long on Italian herbs and cheese with normal cheese, lettuce, onion, sweet corn, and barbecue sauce. Yum 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 yum. And toasted with 3 cookies and 2 refills of the drink, or 1 drink and then a refill of Sprite with ice. Even though they have the shitty ice. How do I? Wipers? No, that's radio. P, there you go. P for precipitation. What's the biggest thing you've ever won? A medium milkshake from McDonald's Monopoly. I win nothing. What 3 people do you wish I could? What 3 people do you wish you could hang out with for a week? Kurt J. Mack, Vintage Beef, and Pause and Pause. I mean, you've got Kurt J. Mack, who's just fantastic. Beef, who's more of a vintage derp as of late. Which I started, by the way. I posted it on a comment, and oh my god, it's thundering. And loads of people said it was good. So, if it ever gets popular, I started it. And Pause and Pause, because he would actually be like someone who would I would hang around with in general. Holy thunder. So, yeah, the first ever podcast is coming to a close. If you like this, please like it. I'm going to try maybe in some later ones to actually have the audio available for download, so you can put it on your phone or whatever and listen to it. If that's what people want, please tell me in the comments. Also comment on how I can improve, because of course this is the first one, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I don't know what I'm doing. Yes. Sorry, I keep getting disturbed. Where were we? I can't go until the green light's there. So yeah, if you like this, please click the like button. Please comment down below questions and tips for me to improve this. Obviously it's the first one I've done, so it's not going to be fantastic, but I soon hope it to be. Also, if you're new to the channel and enjoy this, as well as some of my gaming content you can check out on the channel page, please subscribe. I do a video every 12 hours unless I'm ill. That's the first time I've ever said that, and it feels awesome. I'll see you in the next one. It's going to be a tricky one. I thought that was my truck then. Oh, I don't know. But there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got a lot of editing to do now. Cheerio. Ooh, what's the star? Good. Bye-bye.